idiot and so forth, I'll still plug away.
So it's the faith in God that keeps me going.
It keeps me going, yes.
Can I give an example from my life?
Yeah.
So for me, yesterday we talked about girding our loins with truth. And truth is the things that I know for sure. So as we talked about yesterday, when I carry those things, even in my head, but also in my heart, that does help me stay safe spiritually a lot. But for me, faith is... So we get attacked a lot, for example. And whenever there's a media campaign, you know, we get a slew of emails telling me that I'm a silly woman, or that I, you know, a slut, or they want to do something horrible to me, or we're actually ripping people off, and the poor people that I'm going to hell, and all of you poor people that I'm hurting, and like all kinds of stuff. And how could I ruin my family, and all kinds of things. So these feel like arrows. And sometimes when I feel really low, they hit me. You know, and I go into a place of feeling terrible about myself. I think, wow, the whole world feels like they're against me, and what is really going on? You know, is it really bad? And I haven't got everything figured out. I haven't really come to terms with who I am. And I get into this thing, I really should have it all figured out. I should be perfect. Am I doing exactly the right thing all of the time? You know, what if somehow this is all wrong, and all of this horrible thing can happen? But if I bring it back to faith, and sometimes I've had to go really low in that place in order to remember faith, really. And if I know that, we talked about the two aspects, knowing myself and having this feeling for God. If I search inside of myself and I know, hey, I know I want truth. I really know my heart is to serve. I really know that I want to grow. I know these things about myself. And so if I keep walking in that way in humility, things can't go worse. You know, they're only going to go better. And if I know I have received God's love, I know God loves me, no matter what all these people feel about me. God loves me. And I have faith that God will bring me truth because I've had that experience. God will bring me truth if I keep desiring it. Now that helps me ward off so many arrows, because I go, hang on, when it all comes down to it, I don't have to know all of the truth right now. I just can walk in faith, knowing this about myself, that I don't want to harm anyone, that I really sincerely desire forgiveness and love for everyone in my life. If I walk with that knowledge, and I also walk with the knowledge that I don't have... God, I know I'm not perfect yet, but I know that you're telling me I'm lovable and that everyone around me is lovable, then I can keep walking towards truth, and I don't have to have it all right now.
So, Mary, in that example then, or when you go into the spiral down into those periods of self-doubt, those are the flaming arrows coming at you, aren't they? The barbs that are shooting at you, trying to push you off the course, trying to foster self-doubt.
Yeah, trying to foster self-punishment, really. And that is really spirit attack.
Yeah. It is also another thing, though, isn't it? It's for Mary, there's still this feeling that the way to avoid the rage of others is to be upset with herself, and that sort of then alleviates the rage of others. Does that make sense?
If I question myself, I don't have to feel how painful this is that other people are doing this to me. So there's as with everything, you know, in my spiral, if I'm self-reflective, I learn a lot about my emotional self. And that actually happens far less than it used to, because I've recognised this desire to placate rather than feel. Yeah.
So the faith in yourself then is where you're recognising, no, hang on a minute, I know this.
I'm not like this.
Yeah.
I know this. Why am I all of a sudden accepting this when a week ago I knew this about myself?
And even if you've done something wrong, Linda, even if you've done something wrong on purpose, you can still sit down and go, okay, I definitely did that wrong, and I definitely did that on purpose. But what's my underlying intention? Is my underlying intention to fix this, to make this better, or do I still want to do even more things wrong? Now, if you are self-analytical enough like that, you'll go, okay, if my intention is to make it even worse, then I need to have a very good, strong look at myself to analyse my own intention. But if I believe that I am capable of change, I will at least believe that I'm capable of analysing my intention even when it's negative and change it. I'll believe that. And this is what I mean by the kind of faith you need in yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
And many of us have evidence that we can change now, don't we? And yet sometimes we reach these points where we go, I did it wrong and I can't change it. And it's not true because, as you spoke of earlier, we have the evidence of past experience to show I'm not the person I was 3 years ago.
So we're not really suggesting that you need to have faith that you're a good person, even when your actions would demonstrate that you're perhaps not so good, right? What we're suggesting is even if your actions are demonstrating to you that you are doing things that are out of harmony with love, you need to have enough faith to know that you can always change your life. You can always change who you are by actually analysing and feeling your way through why you are doing the things that are negative. And this requires humility to examine yourself, but it also requires faith, a belief in yourself that you're capable of change. Because otherwise you'd just throw your hands up in the air and say, I might as well be as bad as I can be. And to be honest, a lot of people on the planet have actually made that choice.
Yes.
They've made the choice to be as bad as they can be because they don't have any faith that they can be better.
And can I say I've been that person too? You know, I shared with all you guys a lot of things I've done in the sleep state where I was just like, I'm bad and I'm going to be bad and I don't have any faith that I can change and I'm angry about what's inside of me. And it took faith to move from that place and I'm different, you know. It took faith not only in myself but this is where a relationship with God is so beautiful. The knowledge that God loves me even through all of that also helps each of us to change. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you. That's really helped to clarify that.
So if you can imagine, like in Mary's experience where she was doing those things in the sleep state, if there was no faith available like inside of Mary, she probably would have also thrown her life away on earth to a large degree, right? So rather than actually being self-analytical, going through the process of humility, realising what's going on and wanting to change it, there had to be some faith all through that process that she was capable of doing that. Does that make sense? Yeah. And that's why faith is so important.
Yeah.
Faith even in yourself is so important, even when you are bad as you could be. Even if you're a murderer and a rapist and whatever it is that you can think of that it's the worst thing that you could be, even if you're those things, having some faith that you can change is such an important quality to help you grow.
Yeah, and often some of you guys share with me, seeing me change gives you faith. And so we can look around us as well and say, well, I've got evidence, even though I feel like I'm a terrible person and I can't change, I've got evidence from just seeing people around me that it is, we're all equal under God's eyes. They can change, I can change. So there's a lot of ways we can build faith as well.
Now, if you even just held on to the faith of that one thing, that you are capable of change in a positive direction, can you see how much less influence spirits would have on you than allowing yourself to get into big depressive spirals? I might as well give up, it's all pointless, let's go and have a drink and go out and have sex with this person, let's just do everything possible that's bad. I might as well give up. And there's a way we call that generally, but I just can't remember it at this point. Just this whole give up and then just be as bad as you possibly can be. And, that only comes from a lack of faith in yourself. Throw the towel in.
Yeah.
As the saying goes. Yeah. If we come there and then up the back with Josh.